The full Play It Today breakdown is linked in the description on theircheck.com, and Hogan's Alley is the rare Nintendo game where the real answer is probably don't chase it. Not because it is complicated to understand, because playing it legally today in a way that actually works is more trouble than the game can justify for most people. Hogan's Alley still has historical value. It is a clean example of Nintendo's early light gun design. Identify the right targets, avoid shooting civilians, react quickly, and play for score. It is simple, direct, and easy to grasp in seconds. But that simplicity cuts both ways. This is a small shooting gallery game. There is not much long-term depth here, and the appeal depends heavily on the physical feel of pointing and shooting. Without a good light gun style setup, the game loses a lot of what made it work in the first place. That is the central problem. Hogan's Alley is interesting as Nintendo light gun history. It is not a strong recommendation for a modern player starting from scratch. If you already own the old Wii U Virtual Console version, that is probably your most practical, legal route. That release adapted the game to Wii Remote style play, which makes more sense for a modern display setup than original NES Zapper hardware. But it is no longer a new purchase path because the Wii U and 3 successors eShops stopped allowing new purchases in 2023 for everyone else. The legal options get awkward fast. The current Nintendo Switch Online NES library checked here does not list Hogan's Alley, so this is not a simple open Nintendo Classics and play it situation. There was no current mainstream official route verified for new players. That leaves original NES or Famicom style software with compatible light gun hardware and an appropriate display setup. And that is not a small caveat. The original experience was built around Zapper style play, which does not behave like a normal controller game and is not plug and play for most modern living rooms. So the best version for most people is, bluntly, no good legal mainstream option right now. For existing Wii U owners who already bought it, use that version. For hardware purists, the original NES or Famicom route is the original NES or Famicom route is the authentic path, but for a normal modern player who just wants to try the game legally today, there is no clean, low-friction answer. That is why the recommendation is hard to make. If Hogan's Alley was sitting inside Nintendo Classics with pointer support or some modern equivalent, the tone would be different. It would be easy to say, try it for 10 minutes, understand the early light gun format, and move on. But when the route involves expired digital access or old hardware friction, the value equation changes. Before starting, the main thing to know is that this is not a standard NES game you can comfortably judge on a modern controller. The control method is the game. The aiming, the timing, the physical interaction with the screen, that is the point. Without that, you are mostly studying a relic. There are a few modes and target patterns, but this does not need a walkthrough. The practical question is whether you can play it properly at all. If you cannot, there is very little reason to force it. Final call. Hogan's Alley is historically interesting, but hard to recommend for most players today. Existing Wii U owners and light gun hardware purists have a case. Everyone else can safely skip it, unless Nintendo brings it back through a proper current official route.